Hey, MVPs, Rico Knows here. Going to talk to you guys about the results show for college football. Yes, it was a red week. Red weeks happen. Shout out to gambling. If it hasn't happened to you, you haven't been doing this long. Let's pull up the chart and let's talk about it. So here's the results. Here's what I want to show you guys. If you're trying to dissect what's happening here. Missed on locks. A significant amount went 5-11. That hurts, especially if that's where the majority of your money's at, especially if you parlayed anything. Let me tell you guys something. There's nothing to parlay here. This whole section of the chart, against the spread, these three columns should never see a parlay in your life. I want to show you. Come over here. We're hitting above 50% in locks. We are above 52% in leans and above 52.5% in coin flips. It doesn't matter which column you pick. It doesn't matter where you play from in these columns, you're above 50%. But if you parlay them, you suck. You lost. You're red every day. But so far this year, we are green in every single column. The only thing you can learn from this is a couple things. Number one, if you like a game, it doesn't matter where it's at on this column. If you like it, play it. But if you're a blind tailer, if you sat over here and just blind tailed all this, you're going to lose every single week. Every single week. You did zero research. You paid $25. Dude, that's less than $1 a day. You pay me less than $1 a day. Let me tell you what that covers. That covers access to videos. That gets you charts. That gets you information about the teams before the spreads move. Everything else, right? You'll get an early video today. You get a final video before the games. And you get a video every single day from weekday games. And you get to live stream with me. You get to watch. All this is included. You know what that doesn't equate to? Verbal abuse. Writing me messages telling me I ain't shit. I promise you, you ain't shit. I promise you're the one losing money. I'm not in competition with you. You should be in competition with yourself. Like whatever your record was last week, do better this week and do better next week. And find any resource you can to get an advantage. The enemy is Vegas, not me, bro. I'm not taking your money. You're paying me less than $1 a day. I'm not taking your money and going, you lost your bet. I'm not the problem here. Try to get these green. Find the right spot. Shout out to Rico's favorite plays in the corner here. I went 3-4. It's not good enough. It sucks. I only picked 5 games, and I went 3-2 on those 5 games. So that's terrible. And then this record, 3, and I missed 4, out of 7, because I count the 2 parlays, excuse me. Over-unders kind of broke even. It is what it is. Hit 1 lock, missed 1 lock. That's why you see that there, 1-1. The others were spreads, went 1-2, or leans, excuse me. And then coin flips, we actually did pretty decent. 11-9 on coin flips. It's kind of what I expect. I hope to get 50% right on the dot with the coin flips, and we went better. We had a good run there in a row. Felt really good. Been knocking them out. And what does that mean to you? Well, that means a couple things. If you like a weekday game, they're going to be on the chart somewhere. Every weekday game's on the chart. Play it if you like it. Locks, money line. You guys aren't impressed with this. Some of you guys just, what is he even talking about? Why does he get so excited about this? Well, first and foremost, shout out to us. Currently, on the locks column, it's 148-8 at 95% essentially. Well, what can you do with that? I told you you can parlay it. You can do whatever you want. I don't care. Here's what it really means. We have a good read on teams, and there's blowouts early on the season. Cool. Here's where you can be proud. 10-6 on the money line coin flips. Yeah, that's a good number. That's an impressive number. That means we have good reads on teams. Whether they're covering the spreads or not, it's a whole nother issue. You want to have a good read on a team. You want to have a good grasp of who can beat who. That really helps you as a gambler. I want you guys to think of this as like multiple choice, and you're out there trying to guess what's the right answer. And you're looking at A, B, and C, and D, and you're trying to we got it down. We got a good guessing method in this way, right? Then you come down here, talent chart, it's got its work cut out. It's trying to do the toughest games every single week and get it right. Shout out to us, yes. Underdogs, outright, money line, MTSU 250. Texas A&M 205, Vanderbilt 172. Feels really good, especially those were all night slate games. If you bet those, you would have been great. You would have been on top of it, gravy, but you don't have the courage to do it. I get it. I understand. Missed on the unit flips, it happens. All right. By the way, for the year, talent chart just a little bit under 50%. It's going to be a tough year. It's just the way it is. Moneyline underdogs sitting over here. Got off the mat. We only had 3 right in the first 2 weeks. We got 3 right this week. Pretty awesome stuff. This percentage will get better over time, hopefully. Unit flips, just doing terribly. It's kind of redundant from my my favorite plays over here. So I don't know if I'm just going to move this or try to pick different parlays in this corner, but I'm doing terrible right now at 30%. And that's a reality right there. You make parlays, you'll be hitting at 30%. That's what that is. When you guys want to know what a reflection of parlays looks like, that's it. That's what the fuck it is, bro. Right? Oh, I'm losing my ass. You're probably in the 30% range with everything you're doing. Anyways, what I'm really impressed with so far, and it's important you guys know this, we are right on pace against the spread at 52% across the board. That's where we were last year. It's fine. Get in where you fit in. And then you look at the money line picks, and we're about 15, 16%, actually 17% ahead of schedule. 6, 7. We're 17% ahead of schedule from last year. It'll come back down to earth, I assume, once we get into conference play. Games get a little bit harder to pick, right? That's going to happen. Go to the props chart. I'm really proud of this. Actually made a section called Vegas Got It Wrong, went to this corner and went super green. Now, if you're not eating from this side of the chart, this side of the menu, I can't help you. If you don't do it, that's your business. That's your problem. What are we slam dunking? First quarter spreads. Like a motherfucker. You see it here, -6.5, -6.5, -7, -5.5, 6.5, 6.5, 6.5. I have a really good assessment of these first quarter spreads at -6.5 all over the place. Absolutely slam dunking them. Bet them straight across, should be super green. Now, this column only went 21-19. That's because we took 4 straight losses in a row last night. Shout out to Boston College's bum ass. And we'll talk about it. Now, leans ended up red for the week. Going into it, if you don't know what this top number is, this is the weekday. We were 8-2 on prop leans. And then yesterday went 8-18. It's a bad day. Now, we were doing great. Brazel's doing what he can. Props. You guys will notice I only put props on certain players. Very specific. I don't go and try to find all this other. I just pick like 4 or 5 guys on the whole chart yesterday. 4 or 5 guys I really believed in. Kawan Lacey, Jeremiah Love, Brazel, Jamal Haynes under, Jeremy Bernard. Do you guys see how specific that is? There is Julian Sane. I want you to see how many times you see a player's name on prop bets right now. You see 1, 2, 3. Let's keep going. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we had a bad run here. So 10 different players I put on the list. 10. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And these are plus 106, plus 110. Like, the point I'm trying to make is if I list a player's name, we're pretty dialed in. I'm only picking 10 guys out of the whole slate on the whole weekend. We're pretty dialed in. I'm picking sure things. I'm picking people I can trust. We'll go over these games as best we can. I did not watch all the games in the afternoon. I got a lot of football to watch this week just to catch up on the results. We will go over the box scores here shortly. But what I want to show you is we are slam dunking props. You might not be impressed. After having a week 1 of 28%, remember what I told you? Week 1, we bleed because we don't know who's the starters. And then we get off the mat and we go figure it out, 55 and 45%. I want you guys to see this down here compared to last year. Okay? We are at 51% in this locks column right now. That is phenomenal when it comes to prop bets. That is phenomenal when it comes to alternate spreads when these get to minus or plus 100 or minus, you get a unit flip out of them. 51%, that is 9%, nearly 10% higher than last year. And we already have 103 bets as far as our proof of concept and what we're comparing it to. It's a pretty good sample. We're doing a science experiment. We got a pretty good sample size. We're at 49%, just a little bit above last year. And then we're behind on the value bets. We'll get there. We don't lose anything. We keep track of all the stats during the week. They're down here. We add them to the totals. Everything's always there. Everything's transparent. You guys see all the results. Okay, cool. So, a couple things. We're ahead of schedule. People who crashed out yesterday, good riddance. I don't even like you. I really don't like you. Shout out to the MVPs who are on UFC. You guys are year-round MVPs. We rock with you all day. And we had a bad day in UFC as well. So it's not good when you have a bad day on both sides. It sucks. All right? Let's go talk about these games. First game I'm going to talk about, NC State versus Wake Forest. Had a really good read on the game. Missed a lot of props on the game, kind of, sort of. It depends on what you took. nonetheless, we'll talk about NC State first. C.J. Bailey plays pretty decent. I think he's a little indecisive, runs around, has really good stats. It's really Wake Forest defense cannot be depended on. Like, they're just not real. And if you're paying attention to NC State, they can score on anyone. So NC State having a porous defense, but they can score on anyone, that's a combination for a lot of overs. I think Vegas knows this, but if you see their game totals anywhere in the 50s, you got to take the over. And if we're at 60, it's kind of dialed in. You might want to tease it to an alternate over somewhere in the 48-52 range. NC State's going to score, and they're going to give up points. Hollywood Smothers can be trusted. He's getting the lion's share of the carries. Yes, they bring in Jaden Scott. Yes, he will move the pile. Yeah, he's kind of tough. Will Wilson's a dual-threat quarterback they bring in to move it as well in Wildcat. But Hollywood Smothers is a known commodity in the running back room. He will have over 1,000-yard rushing this year. He will get 20 carries a game. Don't be concerned when you see his yardage at 80. You can take an alternate prop of him of 80 yards rushing. He's going to get there, especially if he's getting over 15 carries a game, because he has burst, he has speed, and he's playing against substandard defenses. So shout out to Hollywood Smothers. Pretty good running back. I like where he's at. Anytime touchdown, it's a crapshoot because they do have a power back they bring in, and Bailey might tuck it and run, or they might throw it to Jolie, things like that. And that's speaking of the wide receiver room. Took a chance on Wesley Grimes against his former team. Didn't work out, and that's a miss on that week. But Jolie came through, 2 touchdowns, only 4 receptions. They still spread the ball out a little bit too much for me to believe in any of the wide receivers. Defensively, like I said, it was porous. Robbie Ashford sucks. Don't get that twisted. I don't care what the stats say or how it looks. Robbie Ashford is terrible. 2 interceptions. Didn't put anything together. Damon Claiborne, a lot of burst, really fast. No game plan to get him the ball. I don't know what that's about. I'd be feeding him the rock like crazy. Offensive line isn't elite. That's Wake Forest for you, though. Remember, Wake Forest is Washington State from last year. That's what they are. So they're built through a hero quarterback that they're going to run around with and hopefully make plays. And then you're going to be like, why don't they give the ball to Parker more? We got Wayshawn Parker. We got a guy that can do it all. And you'll be like, man, shouldn't he have 1,000 yards? And he just doesn't get enough touches. Same coaching staff that did that shit at Washington State last year, they're doing it at Wake Forest. It is what it is. True freshman wide receiver, or redshirt freshman, Chris Barnes, came over from Washington State with the coaching staff. Fast as hell. Bad little dude, deserves way more receptions. We were on 4 that night, missed. He only had 3 for 76 yards. I don't understand why they don't give him more touches. It is what it is. A lot of checkdowns because you have a bad quarterback. Okay, shout out to Hernandez being the slot receiver. They try to throw him the ball. I wouldn't bet on any of this other than Chris Barnes every single week if I could. Next game. Next game is Indiana State and Indiana. We took Indiana State in this. Horrific, right? It just didn't work out. Indiana State looked gross. This is a team that had scored 40 points the week before. So when I did my film study on them, I watched them on tape, and they looked good. They're playing nobody. And in all seriousness, I made this a lock, and I sat there and just said, my goodness, how could I make this a lock that they were going to cover a 48-point spread? And I'm going to tell you how. When you do 1 day of research, this is what it feels like to be a blind tailor right here. I did 1 day of research on Indiana State, and I wouldn't even say 1 day. I did an hour to 2 hours max on Indiana State because the line showed up that day. And I wanted to do my best to give the MVP some product and say, you know what? These FCS teams are going to cover the spread. Let's go. And I took an hour or 2 out of my day to look at each team, Indiana State and Colgate. That's not enough time. And anybody who's making picks based upon some research, reading a box score, and keeping, that's not enough time. I didn't know these players. I didn't know this team, and I made a mistake. And I won't do it again. I won't just go out there and show faith in an FCS team I haven't studied for 4 months and don't know every single player on the team. I just won't do it. On the other side, Indiana, they look fucking phenomenal. Indiana looks like an unstoppable force. Fernando Mendoza's putting the ball where he needs to. Now, they played a hapless team, but I'm more impressed with a couple things. They look like they have an immense amount of depth. I know their third string running back. I know Roman Hemby can be a starting running back on a Power 4 team, and he's third string, even fourth string. Like, it's crazy how deep this team is. Yes, your starting 11 only matters. They're playing Illinois this week, and I'm telling you, Indiana's going to be my pick against Illinois. Now, it's not a lock for me. It could be a lock for you. You've seen both these teams multiple times. It could be a lock for you. It's not for me, because I got a lot of respect for Illinois. But if I have to pick between the two teams, I'm taking Indiana for a number of reasons. I've never seen Indiana outgunned and outmaneuvered and outmatched as a coaching staff in the trenches, making smart decisions. And I've watched Illinois. Illinois struggles to run the ball. As big as Fagan is, he gets no yards after contact. They can't get any push up front. I've watched him lose battles up front to Duke, who just got the doors blown off of them by Tulane up front. So it's just one of those situations where I got to trust my eyeball test. And in this case, I missed horribly. And you just live with it. And there'll be guys like, why was this even a lock? And that's what somebody will write in the comments. Why was this a lock? And then you have to ask yourself, why the fuck did you make a game a lock for you if you had never seen the team play before? You're blind-tailing. And I can't stand you, right? So anytime you miss, if you come on the platform and you go, why was this a lock? Just get out of here. Just leave. You don't even need to ask, because I'm not going to answer you. It was explained in a video, and it was wrong, and misses happen. Colgate, they actually look like a pretty good team. Shout out to Colgate. If you guys get a chance to find Colgate spreads while they're playing FCS teams, I'm sure Vegas doesn't respect Colgate. They look pretty good. They had a fighting chance. They were out there playing well. They even brought in Jake Sterney instead of Zach Osborne. Zach Osborne was stinking it up pretty bad. Brought in Jake, and Jake played well. The white running back was out there doing his thing. Like, everything about these guys is cool. And shout out to Saunders. This guy is amazing. I know he didn't score 2 touchdowns. They were trying to shut him down and do what they could, and Trayvon Saunders can play football. So I want to tell you, I was impressed with Colgate. Now, they didn't cover the spread. Syracuse put up 66 points on these boys, which is a crazy number. Absolutely crazy. They pulled out the starters and brought them back in. By the way, shout out to Indiana, never pulled out the starters. Syracuse, I'm not impressed with their defensive speed. I'm not impressed with what they're doing. I don't think they have a real rushing attack. I'm not impressed with any of this. They do have players that can keep you in the game and be competitive, but Syracuse is not one of the better teams out there, guys. Just not. I don't care what the score says. Colorado, speaking of not one of the better teams out there, Houston and Colorado. Houston looks like some beast out here. Now, it was playing a Colorado team that I think is broken. I think Colorado's broken from the inside. I think their locker room doesn't like each other. A bunch of free agents. I think there's 2 quarterbacks that are pissed off Ryan Staub's even starting in the game. And guess what? Ryan Staub wasn't the problem. No, he wasn't. He threw 2 interceptions. You might not think he looked great, but he was actually out there hustling and trying to make plays. There's no running game. There's no semblance of running. You're telling me you got running backs? Who? Simeon Price had 1 carry for 38 yards. The rest of the time, what was he doing? Absolutely nothing. Michael Welch, -2 yards rushing. Nobody else gets carries. Ryan Staub's running around like a chicken with his head cut off. This isn't 35 pass attempts. No, he ran 11 times. Those weren't design draws. This should have been – they're still running the offense they think they had last year. They're still out there dropping back to pass over 40 times a game. That's crazy, because you don't have the NFL quarterback to do it. You don't have the NFL wide receivers to do it. You got nothing. All these Millers they talk about, Joseph William Miller, all these guys are mid as fuck. If a transfer from Tulsa and a transfer from Campbell and a transfer from UIW can show up and take everybody's spot, that's a terrible fucking wide receiver. One of the worst in the country. And they're going to feel that pain. Defensively, no linebackers. No linebackers. They can't. If you get to the second level, you're going to fall forward for first downs. You heard me right. If you get to the linebackers, you're going to get more yards. They're not stopping you. Ben Finnisith, the second in tackles on the team in this game. You know what position Ben Finnisith plays? Safety. Your leading tackler can't be a safety week in and week out. That just can't happen. He starts 10 yards off the ball. And on the Houston side, Connor Wegman is him. Connor Wegman is so good. He reminds me of Clayton Tune at Houston. It's not every day Houston goes out and gets a real quarterback, a guy who was a starting quarterback at A&M. So Connor Wegman looked dual threatish in this game. He broke for 49 yards at one point. He looked dual threat. I thought he looked competent. He looked like a poor man's Haynes King. He was moving the chain with his legs, and they got a raw-ass white boy running the rock. Dean Connors hits the hole hard. You can trust him. He's going to get the lion's share of the carries, and they're going to ride him to victory. He's not special. He's not special. He's just running. Stacey Sneed dances too much, and that's why he lost the starting job at the running back room. He used to be the running back. He's been here for 2 years now, and didn't matter. Dean Connors transfers in from Rice, takes over that room. Connor Wegman's taking care of the ball. They got some receivers that can get open. They're always going to throw to Tanner Kozil. He only got 33 yards in this game. He had some drops. Steven Johnson and Amari Thomas can take the top off of defense. Houston looks all right, man. Defensively, they look mean. They look mean. They do. Shout out to them. I don't know how many times I'm going to believe in them, but I did in this instance. Now, who don't I believe in? K-State. Can't believe in K-State even a little bit. Shout out to Avery Johnson's bum ass. 13 for 29, 88 yards passing on Arizona. I saw Arizona shut down Hawaii's passing attack, and I talked about this in the video. It looked like Hawaii couldn't throw with elite wide receivers and everything. So I know K-State can't throw on these guys. And K-State had one freak accident to even score. Their lone touchdown, well, the touchdown that is impressive here was that 75-yard touchdown run in the second half. They handed off to Jace Brown, and Jace Brown is fast. Jace Brown's doing his thing. So what? So fucking what? This is a terrible team. Terrible. They can't score. Dylan Edwards comes out, plays a little bit, goes back to the locker room. Couldn't play in the second half. You're not 100%. You got nothing, bro. Nothing. Good tight end in Garrett Oakley. Talent-wise, he's good. You evaluate him, he could probably start at a lot of schools. Go hit the transfer portal, get the fuck out of this terrible place. Defensively, guys have been around for a long time. They don't matter. You can't do anything if your offense isn't moving the ball. You can't do anything if you got 88 yards passing on 29 attempts. That's an insane number. On the other side, Noah Fafita. Noah Fafita's a baller. He's out there doing his thing. I thought Arizona looked good in the game. The score was way too close. Arizona was dominating this game, and they only had 17 points at half. They should have had way more points at half. They were that good. Ishmael Mahdi had too much burst for K-State. So when you see a defense that's slow, and then you see a speed back against them, you know he's going to get his yards. He's just going to outrun linebackers, catch corners he wouldn't normally catch against faster defenses. Ishmael Mahdi doesn't break tackles, doesn't fall forward. He's just fast. And it was more than enough. It looked like a youth running back. You ever seen a youth football game? They just sweep right, sweep left, catch the corner. Like, that's all you do. You just give the little kid the ball, and he's just gone. That's what it looked like for Ishmael Mahdi. Just gone everywhere. Good stuff. Shout out to him. Wide receivers, I wasn't impressed with any wide receivers in this game from Arizona. There's just going to be untimely drops, things like that. Noah Fafita can lace it, but it's nothing that I would want to bet on, nothing that I believe in. Defensively, they're playing pretty good. Not playing a lot of guys, but they're playing pretty good. Shout out to them. Arizona, way to be 3-0. I hope they start getting some votes. They look good. We'll see what happens. Next game, New Mexico. Speaking of looking good, New Mexico beating UCLA. I had this in like the locks or leans column, and then I moved it to the coin flips column. And this is another prime example. If you believe in a game and you hear my assessment and I move it, my assessment didn't change. I stuck with New Mexico. I said I don't like the way Jack Lane plays quarterback. He's making a lot of mistakes the last 2 weeks. Guess what? He came out here. You can't make a mistake against a team that fucking is terrible. Can't do it. And sure enough, even if UCLA was getting positive yards, it didn't matter. They couldn't stop this Russian attack at all. Now, I think Scott Trey Humphrey might have got a concussion in this game because he was dominating early on, and then we didn't see him anymore. And it wasn't because they were going with the hot hand. I think Humphrey got hurt, and we haven't been told because they pulled him out of the game after 6 carries. We never saw him again. But DJ McKinney's fast, little darty kind of guy. And then Damon Bankston he's the former Weber State running back that rushed for 1,000 yards last year. He's here. They have an embarrassment of riches at running back. They're fine. All they do is line up, punch you in the mouth, and run the rock. I think this is a really good team in the Mountain West. This is a team you got to respect completely. They got all the right pieces. By the way, Dorian Thomas is a wide receiver we got to wake up and believe in. Dorian Thomas is a tall kid. He's open. They don't throw much, but if they're going to throw, Dorian Thomas is pretty good. So look for him in the over 25 yards every single week. I would be interested. Defensively, Jackson Eck, once again, leads them in tackles, coach's son. He did this all last year at Idaho. He's doing it again. They don't have a ton of team speed, but they make plays. They got to be where they got to be. And then UCLA is just a train wreck. I don't know if UCLA wins a game. They fucking suck. Anthony Woods, starting running back at Idaho a couple years ago, coming back from injury, ran well in this game, but most of it was on 1 carry for 33 yards. Other than that, they were kind of bottled up. Nico playing this hero ball. I don't like Nico. I've never liked Nico. I told you guys this since he was at Tennessee. Never believed in him. Now, somebody I've always believed in, Mikey Matthews. Little Mikey Matthews needs to get the ball more. Figure it out. I like little Mikey Matthews. Other than that, nothing else to talk about in here. Nothing. Fucking trash, bro. They do have a kicker. Shout out to UCLA. Ohio. Now we're going to go over yesterday's games, top teams and all this. At one point, this game, the score was, I want to say it was 9-13 at one point. 9-13. They missed the extra point, Ohio did. So 9-13 at one point. That's how close it was in the third quarter. And then Ohio State goes out and scores 24 unanswered, and now it looks like a huge blowout. And Parker Navarro, for whatever reason, wasn't in the game at one point. I thought he was injured. And, I'm watching the game, but then I flip over. I'm watching 4 different boxes, really 8 boxes at once. And I'm watching it, but I don't know why Nick Poulos was in for so long. And then I go, hey, did Parker Navarro get hurt? And then he came back in the game. So it is what it is. So, but nonetheless, didn't hit our props for Parker Navarro rushing yards or say Bangor's 25 yards. Very close, but you're not going to get much yards against Ohio State. I think we had Parker Navarro at 35 rushing yards. It's just tough. It's Ohio State. They're beasts. One play, Chase catches the ball and scores. It was a long play, but he wasn't not fast enough. He broke some tackles and made it happen. I'm cool with that. Just know that this team is going to be good. This team's going to be good in the MAC. The way they competed, the way they play, I'm officially on Ohio's bandwagon moving forward. I am. I know I wasn't for the first 2 weeks, and shame on me. Julian Sain, they have good defense. Julian Sain threw 3 touchdowns, also 2 interceptions. That 3 touchdowns was a value bet. It was on the values chart. Cool to us. C.J. Donaldson, 9 carries, 39 yards. Disappointed. I wanted to see them ride him more, but Bo Jackson, second week in a row, they've been giving this Bo Jackson guy more carries, and Bo Jackson's looking the part. So he might have taken over the running back room just by being more explosive and having more burst to him. So shout out to Bo Jackson, second week in a row, getting more carries and doing his thing. I don't know what you want me to say about the wide receiver room. Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate getting yards on substandard teams that they're much better than, and congratulations, they're going to get their yards. So they're doing it. Defensively, they're good. This is a good team. I don't think Ohio State's the best team in the country. I don't. I think they're probably 4th or 5th. I really like where LSU is right now. I like where Penn State's at. I like where Oregon's at. And even Oklahoma, dare I say. But Ohio State's right. I just trust those quarterbacks more, trust those teams more, just so you're aware. Penn State, Villanova, what a backdoor cover. Was on Villanova, 48.5 points. They score. You guys got to go see this play. I posted it on the Discord server. Go find it somewhere. They score on the very last play, and it's a fucking from 8-9 yards out, and it's just a lucky heave to a tight end, and the tight end jumps up. Brandon Binkowski, he jumps up one hand and catches it. It's incredible. He barely catches it, barely scores. Shout out to him. On the other side, Penn State, just chilling. The nerve of these guys. They ran the ball 30 times among their top 2 running backs. Singleton gets 20 carries for 84 yards and 2 touchdowns. What I would say is when you see Penn State against Villanova and their star running back, Nicholas Singleton, has got 20 carries for 84 yards, is that cause for concern? They're not moving the ball well. They're not getting enough push and enough burst, or did they just keep it really vanilla and didn't give a shit, just lined up and said, yo, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to zone block this the whole day. And I don't know. I don't know what's the read on this. I think Penn State's a very good team. I do. And I think Drew Aller's making smart decisions. He threw a pick in this game. He missed a lot of passes, but he's making smart decisions for the most part. We'll see. It's not good when a team doesn't get tested in the preseason and they show up in league play and have tough games. I hope Penn State's ready. Speaking of being ready, LSU's ready. I'm not a big Brian Kelly guy, but this defense is absolutely ridiculous. This defense is amazing. LSU already beat Clemson. A lot of people aren't going to think that's a good win. I think it is. And then they just beat Florida and holding Florida to 10 points and 5 interceptions. 5 interceptions of DJ Lagway. First and foremost, Florida. You can't be built for DJ Lagway to throw 49 attempts. Not in a 10-point game. Like I could understand if you were trailing by 4 touchdowns, so you had to go throw the ball a lot to try to catch up. But if you're trailing by a touchdown or by a field goal or even 10 points, you can still implement your run game. You can still do your own, but they couldn't run the ball. They gave up on running the ball. They gave up on it, 10 carries. So they just said, we're going to go air it out and put it on this kid's arm, and you can't do that. It's a bad coaching decision. Shout out to Florida. I think Sunbelt Billy's on his way out. You look at the interceptions, A.J. Halsey, one of my favorite. Rico knows hidden gems for years upon years. DJ Pickett getting interceptions, things like that. I'm cool with it. LSU looks real, man. LSU looks real. If you notice, you won't see, what's his face in here? The brothers. Weeks? No, was it Weeks? Who got it? Somebody. I thought somebody got ejected in this game. We watched it. Nonetheless, Nussmeier, not great. His receivers dropped a bunch of passes here and there, but it didn't matter. Defense wasn't giving up anything. If you can score, like, I want you to think about this. At halftime, LSU had 13 points. That was enough to win the game. They have 13 points at half, and that's enough to win the game. How'd they beat Clemson? What was the score? Yeah, it's enough to win the game. They don't need to score much. That's how good their defense is. Shout out to LSU. Brian Kelly, don't fuck it up. Oregon on Northwestern. We don't cover the spread. Shout out to Northwestern. 14 points in the fourth quarter. Bum shit right here by Oregon. Easy lock, and we get a bad beat. Backdoor covered, and it's frustrating. Preston Stone is Preston Stone. Threw 2 interceptions. He'll never stop being Preston Stone. He is the turnover king. He fumbles and throws more picks than you could ever imagine. Look at this motherfucker. What do you got this year so far? 6 interceptions so far? Yeah. 4 and 2. And he also has fumbles for days. I don't know how to find his fumbles, but he fumbles for days as well. His turnovers are insane. He can't do it, bro. 6 interceptions in 86 attempts. That's what he had in all of 2023. He is a shell of himself. Back when he was a 28-6 quarterback, he's not that guy anymore. I don't know what he is. And his teammates aren't good, and I think he's in hell. Shout out to him. I think he's in straight up hell. So Northwestern not looking good. Can't bet on anything else they're doing. Running back room doesn't move me like that. Neither does the receiver room at this point. Nothing. There's nothing I believe in for Northwestern. On the other side, Oregon. Man, they're good. Oregon's very good. I think they kept it vanilla for this game. Didn't do anything too crazy, but they're very good. And where they're good is their defense. I know they gave up 14 points in the fourth. I think they brought in the backups, but their defense is elite, like elite talented players out there. So shout out to Oregon. They should keep it going. They're pretty good. Miami. Knew Miami would beat South Florida, had it on the board. And I picked South Florida to cover the spread, but if you go look at the money line, I knew Miami was winning, obviously. All the hype about South Florida. I just think Miami's a superiorly talented team, very similar to Oregon. Just they got the best team money can buy. They got all the right pieces, and it wasn't a good matchup for South Florida at all. It just wasn't. They tried to come out here, keep the ball in Byron Brown's hand. Byron Brown finished with 2 yards rushing. Remember you saw all that rushing he did against Boise? Not here, bro. 2 yards rushing. That defense is mean. One guy you'll see is Chase Nimrod got free. Chase Nimrod is very fast. And the more they get Chase Nimrod the ball, he's faster than anybody in the group of 5. He's so fast. You can see it on tape. He bursts. Even when they miss him on passes, he's still wide open. So I'm not surprised to see him go for 128 against Miami. Singleton's always been the guy. And you can see the 7 receptions right here. I don't know what's going on at practice. I don't know what the deal is. But when you watch the South Florida game, they are forcing the ball to this freshman, Christian Neptune. I don't know if they're just trying to keep him happy, to keep him on the team because he's so good. I don't think he's better than Nimrod or Singleton, yet he gets way more targets than everybody. He constantly. He might not have the most receptions every game. He has the most targets every game. It's nuts. So Christian Neptune, they keep trying to throw him the ball. Something's up there. I don't know what that is. Shout out to him. On the other side, Miami, Mark Fletcher, Carson Beck doing their thing. Jamar Brown, always alternating series. Didn't have a good game this game, but alternate series with Fletcher. Shout out to him. Pringle gets some playing time in this. I know people want to see him playing. And then receivers, Keelan Marin being used, but that Malachi Toney, that freshman, running drags all the way across the field. Nobody can run with him stride for stride out of his breaks. He's just like that little guy, Chris Barnes. At Wake Forest, similar thing here, similar weapon. Small little slot receivers who people can't run with. Congratulations. Can we stop voting for Ruben Bain to be a Heisman finalist? Can we please stop? Shout out to Miami. They look very good. Georgia finds a way to win, finds a way to beat Tennessee. Tennessee's kicker sucks. choked. It's tough. He's just a little kid, not doing well. And they lose this game. They should have won this game in regulation. They lose in overtime. It's just nuts, man. You got to feel bad for them because they actually played well. Shout out to Georgia. Gunnar Stockton is him. He's does enough, gets by. The running back room doesn't impress me all that much. Yes, Nate Frazier's good, but they don't have enough. They don't have a bell cow back they can rely on. So it's always going to be tough to move the chains and do things. Gunnar Stockton plays well. Colby Young got his yards I needed. Zachariah Branch still burst for a touchdown. He is so fast. Please get him the rock. They did get a late touchdown by Humphreys. It was an over-the-shoulder catch. I'm a little disappointed in Oscar Delp not being dependable, but Lawson Lucky's coming through. Everything else is just not worth talking about. Defensively, they can compete, but when you give up 41 points, I have nothing positive to say about you. Nothing positive to say about this defense at all. As a matter of fact, I think they got exposed. You can see where they couldn't cover Chris Brazil at all. And I talked about this before the game. When I talked to you guys in the early video, I said, hey, there's a guy I believe in. This is why he was on the props chart. There's a whole team here. I don't know if I want to believe in this. I don't know. I was really dialed in on this game, and I said, Chris Brazil, they won't be able to cover him. And if you go to the chart and you look, I had a prop for plus 209, and it was Aguilar passing touchdown, Star Thomas 20 yards rushing, Brazil 30 yards, and Colby Young 25 yards. For that entire game, I had one prop that I was interested in. For the entire, you don't see any other entries on that game except for those two. Georgia, Tennessee. I don't want to try to guess who's going to win the game. I felt like the props to make were Brazil over yards and this prop bet, and that's it. So when people say Rico doesn't know, you missed all day, I can't believe this. Why? Because I didn't have that game on my locks chart. But the props are there, and I'm telling you where to make your money on that game. If you listen, if you can or you can't, whatever it is, that's your business. But I'm letting you know. Had a good read on the props in this game. I know the players really well. Joey Aguilar is still him. He can play great. Threw for 371 yards on a Georgia defense. Don't care about the 2 interceptions. I thought he played exceptionally well. Shout out to Joey. Star Thomas, rushing, does his thing. Congratulations. Sean Bishop, they don't have a dominant running attack. They're going to have to win it through the air, and no one was stopping Chris Brazil. I call him Brazil. Never watch games with the volume on, so it's on mute, so I have no idea how to say his name. I've watched him play for 2 years now, at Tulane last year and here. 3 touchdowns, 177 yards, cannot be stopped. Shout out to him. Defensively, not a good look. Not a good look. You can't be giving up 44 points. And I can't say anything positive about it. I know they got a good defense. I know they're athletic. Just a tough matchup. Texas, stop believing in Texas to cover spreads. Arch Manning sucks. He went 11 for 25, 1 touchdown, 1 interception against a Conference USA defense that's not known for defense. Yes, Texas has a stout defense. They're very good. They were crushing UTEP, and they weren't able to do anything. By the way, the only person who can get positive yards is fucking Hassan Wilson. Again, Hassan Wilson's the only guy that has the burst to get free, and he's still not starting. They're still giving it to Ashton Emery for 11 carries and 5 yards. The guy with the burst, the guy who broke for 90 yards last week, Hassan Wilson. UTEP, you deserve to be fired. All of you. Every last one of those coaches deserves to be fired. I don't give a fuck how close this game was. Arch Manning sucks. Can't believe in him. They're just trying other running backs. They gave some guys some breaks. Backs that didn't play much. You know, they're just, Wisner's not here. Like, they're just playing whatever. They're chilling. I don't like the fact that they average less than 4 yards a carry. I didn't like the way Texas looked in this game. I don't think Texas is going to beat a lot of SEC teams this year. No, I think that they have terrible wide receivers, and the worst player touches the ball every single play. I think they have an amazing defense. Fucking terrible offensive players. I'm on that train right now. Shout out to Texas. They're not covering spreads. And Vegas is giving them monster spreads to cover, and it's not happening. Next game, A&M Notre Dame. Got this one right. I said A&M on my talent chart is better than Notre Dame, and A&M won this game. And I want to be real, man. I thought A&M was better than Notre Dame the whole game. Even though it took them till the last few seconds to win this thing, A&M's got some special talented players, and Notre Dame does not. Notre Dame does not. Marcel Reed gives you a chance every chance he gets because he's dual threat, because he can find the right people and throw it. Running game's a little boring for me. Le'Veon Moss did have 3 touchdowns, but it's not giving me the burst I need. It's not something that I'm looking forward to. Now, they were playing against a stout defense in the trenches. Wide receivers, man, did you see the play with Mario Craver? He's running down the side, does a 360, and then keeps running. Mario Craver looks special. Yes, I've called him a criminal in the past. He's been arrested before. I don't like anything like that. But if you want to talk about just straight talent, baller, Mario Craver is him. Casey Concepcion confuses me sometimes. Doesn't do all the right things, but he's still a good player. And then Terry Bussey. They're lucky they called back that kickoff return for a touchdown. It didn't matter. They still won the game. But Terry Bussey's got a little burst to him, and nobody's stopping him. But, man, that Mario Craver is something else. Man, I don't know how teams are stopping Mario Craver. They're not. They're not stopping Mario Craver. That dude's nice. Defensively, they were out there competing. It's tough. You're playing Notre Dame. Notre Dame was able to score on them. I don't like that. Good team, though. Texas A&M is going to find ways to win. They got a good coach. Elko's a good coach. It's not what you think it is. It's not Jimbo Fisher. No, it's a good team. They should be ranked much higher. I've had them in the top 10 all preseason. Yeah. My talent chart tells me they're in the top 10 all preseason. And now people are going to start figuring it out. Yeah, they're very good. CJ Carr, I like the way he plays. There's just a ceiling there. He's young. CJ Carr will be a good quarterback in about 3 years. Not this season, not next year, but the following year, he'll be at his peak. Jeremiah Love, will he still be around? I don't know. Jeremiah Love, they finally fed him the rock. It's tough. You're up against a stout defense. I'm glad he got his touchdown. Price getting way too many carries for my liking. More power to him. Scalping touchdowns, things like that. Receivers, everybody knows Malachi Fields is him. Transferred in from Virginia. Looks like they have good continuity with Fields. I would believe in Fields a lot more than Eli Raritan. Fields moving forward. That's about it. Defensively, A&M had too much juice for these guys. And Notre Dame, man, 0-2 Notre Dame. How? What are they going to do? They're going to be ranked? They move up more? How does this work? 0-2 Notre Dame. They're getting a playoff spot? What's up? Western Michigan gets shut out by Illinois. We got this right. This was a lock. Illinois covers the spread, eventually scoring. They tried to keep it really vanilla in the first half. The depth took over, and they kind of just wore out Western Michigan in the second half. They were running the ball, trying to give it to Fagan. Let him look at that. 20 carries, 100 yards. Do not be fooled by this at all. It looked terrible. It was not explosive. It didn't impress me. They kept it vanilla on the passing side of the house, just getting ready for next week. They didn't want to show too much. Very, very bad. On the other side, it is what it is. You're playing against Illinois. You're not going to get much push, much burst. Nothing's going to happen. Jalen Buckley was rested after about 6 carries. They're just like, oh, that's cool. Cole Cabana actually played in this game. I've been interested to see what he looks like. He didn't get much burn, but he was here. And then everything else is just fine. Listen to me. Western Michigan, although they're 0-3, they can score points against MAC defenses. I'm sure of it. Okay. On the other side, Hank Beatty, wide receiver. Somebody you can start believing in. I'm sure they're going to try their best to keep him involved. They're forcing the ball to him, things like that. Defensively, yeah, Illinois is mean. Shut him out. Pretty easy call for me on the locks column. Vanderbilt, South Carolina. Told you we don't fade Diego Pavia. I like Vanderbilt to win this game for a number of reasons. First and foremost, I've told you guys all preseason. That's why you got to watch the preseason videos. I don't believe in South Carolina. I'm one of the few people in the world to tell you South Carolina shouldn't even be ranked. I don't think South Carolina has the right team to be competitive in the SEC. I don't think they have the right players. I think they have babies in the starting lineup, very young recruiting stars, and they're having to do this to try to keep them there, but they're not ready to compete against grown men. And Vanderbilt went out and got grown men in the trenches, in the transfer portal. They got guys who've been starting for 4 or 5 years. They did not sit back and just chill. Vanderbilt got ballers to go around Diego Pavia. That's the reality of the situation. That's why Vanderbilt's so good. This was not a close game. It was not competitive. People are saying, man, they let Lenora Sellers down. He got hurt and all this. I don't give a shit if Lenora Sellers played this whole game. The score would have been worse. He threw an interception. He's not, it doesn't matter. I'm telling you, Vanderbilt is nice. Shout out to Vanderbilt. They still couldn't run the ball. Not against this defensive front, which is fine. But Diego Pavia is going to find his tight ends open. And the defense for Vanderbilt is the difference. The defense is mean. The defense is good. A lot. It's really, really good. Love the way they get to the ball. The linebackers are great. Edge rushers are good. Yeah. Shout out to them. Razul Faison has a little burst to him. I like it. He makes people miss, but he's doing it all by himself. Even if he gets positive yards, he's doing it all by himself. Luke Doty did not look ready to play, at least not at the SEC level. Receivers, Nick Harper's going to go deep. Is that the plan? He's just going to go deep every route? I don't know what that is. We can't get it to anybody else. Can't rely on anybody else. Defensively, they're out there. They're making tackle. They're out there. They're not imposing their will. Shout out to Vandy. Called that money line. And then we have Clemson. Clemson losing 1-2 now. You look at Clemson's schedule. I don't even care if they run the table. I don't see how they make the playoffs. So that's a terrible look all the way around. Shout out to Clemson. Well, they got to win the ACC. They're going to need Miami to lose, Louisville, and now Georgia Tech. We'll start with Cade Klubnik. Thought he played okay. Not exceptionally well. Thought he ran well. There's just no running game on this team. They have no running back on this team. Adam Randall's not a running back. I've said this multiple times. Not a natural running back. Not a running back. Period. I don't know what the kids do. Period. Okay. He had 14 carries for 50 yards. If you take away his long of 30, it's not good. Cade Klubnik is now running the ball. That's not good. He's not a dual threat guy. The only guy that I would believe in at all is Wesco. And I told you, there's nobody in this game that's going to cover Wesco. And then he had one drop that was significant, but nobody covered him in this game. And that's when you go take a prop on Wesco. If I'm talking about a game, and I'm talking about players and all this stuff, and I go, hey, guys, there's nobody at Georgia Tech that can cover Bryant Wesco. That's your opportunity to go to Prize Picks and go pick Bryant Wesco over yards. But I didn't put it on the chart. You don't know how to listen to me. It wasn't in the locks column, Rico, so you don't know what the fuck you're doing. That's not my problem. I'm here to give you the information. No one was going to cover Bryant Wesco. And it happened. He broke. He's beast. He's great. He's doing his thing. Defensively, I thought they played well. Fumbles hurt. Missed field goals hurt. Thought they played well. Then you got Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech playing at home. Haynes King moving the ball. 25 carries, 103 yards, and a touchdown. He did it. I was on Jamal Haynes under yards. He was way under. I had him at 66. I had him under that. He went for 26. So we had that right. We had a lot of things right. No receivers to even throw to. Nothing like this. It doesn't matter, man. They found a fucking way to win. It's nuts. They found a way to win. Shout out to Omar Daniels for nearly getting a pick six. Shout out to Aiden Burr. Aiden Burr kicked 3 field goals. One of them, the game winner for 55 yards, longest in school history, blah, 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 blah. Georgia Tech wins. Congratulations. We know who Georgia Tech is, and apparently we know who Clemson is. Oklahoma Temple. Man, I screamed about this. I talked about it for a long time. I do not believe the sportsbooks know who the fuck Temple is or how good Oklahoma is. Oklahoma is, talent-wise, a top 10 team in the country. Oklahoma is not. Oklahoma was in the Big 10 or the Big 12, excuse me. Oklahoma is not adjusting to the SEC. No, Oklahoma is more talented than teams in the SEC. Oklahoma, when you look at their roster, it is fucking phenomenal. And they're looking the part. Absolutely looking the part. Now, it's Temple, and we're only getting 20-something points. This is the lock of all locks. I'm taking it every quarter, halftime, and the end of the game. So when you see that many entries on the chart, and I'm talking about it to that extent, that makes it the most obvious thing in the world. There's nothing else to it. John Mateer, still John Mateer, can run the ball, extend plays, do things. He did throw a pick in this game. Torrey Blaylock, taking over the running back room. That's impressive that he took over a crowded running back room, and he's now the guy. Don't let anybody fool you. That is the running back of this team. Javonte Barnes, Jay Knott, I don't want to hear about none of those guys. It is this kid, Torrey Blaylock. He's the running back. Receivers, they would lean upon a bunch of other guys, which is fine. Deion Burks is still my dude. I'm cool with it, but they have a lot of options, and that's a good thing to have. It's a good thing to have. Defensively, they're mean. They're mean. 4 sacks in this game. They hit everything. They do well. Shout out to Oklahoma, looking pretty good. On the other side, I told you I don't believe in Temple. Evan Simon, while he threw well the last couple weeks, this is a guy who couldn't start at Rutgers. He will not do anything against Oklahoma's defense. And sure enough, 13 for 25 and 75 yards. 75 yards passing does not cut it in college football. I mean, I don't know where that cuts it. Nowhere. And I feel bad for Giovanni McCoy. Why did you transfer to Temple just to never play again? That was dumb. All right, on the running back room, Jay Ducker's the guy they're going to run. Congratulations, you're too small to move the chains. and they have no one to throw to, it's Temple. Temple defense played decent. They did. And that's a Casey Keller thing. So shout out to them. Next game, Iowa State, Arkansas State. We had Arkansas State to cover this spread. I was very scared for Iowa State. When I look at Arkansas State, they just do certain things that Iowa State doesn't handle well. That would be speedier receivers, a dual threat quarterback. Just it annoyed me when I looked at it on tape, and I didn't believe in Iowa State. So I said Arkansas State to cover the spread. Now, it was in the leans column, and that means you guys won't ever bet it, but it was there. And I believed in Arkansas State, and they covered the spread. Shout out to them. It was a no sweat for me. Felt pretty good. Jalen Raynor is a hero. He plays hero ball. He gets the ball every single play. He's going to do his thing. He's got receivers he can throw to. I'm waiting for Corey Rucker to break out. He still hasn't broken out this year. It is what it is. Now, what couldn't Arkansas State do? They couldn't stop the run. That was weird. Carson Hansen out here running like crazy. I even saw Abu Sama break free on another play, and it was called back by a penalty, but Abu Sama as well. These guys were out there dominating, do their thing. Receivers. Still no receivers at Iowa State. It's still all tight ends to me. I don't believe in anybody else. I won't do it. I don't buy none of this shit that they did in this game. I don't buy it. And I like Xavier Townsend. Doesn't matter. I don't buy it. Defensively, Iowa State, very, very mean defensively. Kept them in the game, kept them winning the game. They're going to run into some problems, but they're 4-0. Respect them. I think they're overranked. They're not the 14th best team in the country. And then we got Ole Miss. Ole Miss finds a way to beat Arkansas. We took Arkansas to cover this spread. Got it right again. Shout out to me. Ole Miss goes into this game not playing Austin Simmons, playing Trinidad Chambliss. I think Chambliss is a better quarterback. He takes care of the ball, doesn't throw interceptions, gives you a dual threat capability. I like him. I hope the team likes him as well. I talked about him a lot when he transferred in from Ferris State. I talked about him on Twitter. I talked about him before he signed with Ole Miss. I was like, hey, I just looked at tape on this kid from Ferris State. I think he's good. And they had him at 0 stars. I was like, guys, he's not a 0-star player. This is a very good player. And then he commits to Ole Miss, and then they go and make him 3 stars. This guy can play ball. Shout out to him. Also led the team in rushing. Kind of scared me. He was taking away carries from Kawan Lacey. Kawan Lacey needs his touchdowns. Go do his thing, and he did get that anytime touchdown I believed in. Damian Taylor, remember, this is the leading rusher from Troy, and he's 4th string, or 3rd string, excuse me. He's 2nd string? My bad. I got to work on my numbers. But he was the 3rd option yesterday. Receivers, Harrison Wallace is always going to get yards. Trust the Harrison Wallace yards. Everything else is kind of hit or miss, but Harrison Wallace is going to get yards. It's just the way their offense is built. They're flowing through Harrison Wallace III. So that's a prop you got to believe in every week, no matter who they're playing. Defensively, although they didn't do well, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. They didn't do well because they gave 35 points to Arkansas, and it was a much closer game than you're seeing here. I thought it was a very competitive game. I really did. Taylor Green played well. He missed some passes here and there, but he still ran for over 100 yards. He still extended plays, did what he can. I think Arkansas has a good offensive line. I do. And that good offensive line is going to carry them and keep them competitive on drives, keep them on the field longer, and give their defense rest. I like their offensive line. Receiving, it's still one guy, still a one-man show. Don't believe any of the yards or anything. It's Omega Blake and nobody else. There you have it. Defense played well. Missed 2 field goals. You lose by 6, miss 2 field goals. Wisconsin, Alabama dominated. It wasn't even this close to score. Don't believe the score. Alabama absolutely dominated this. Danny O'Neal can't play against this type of team. Ty Simpson looks like a really good quarterback to me. People better wake the fuck up. Ty Simpson extends plays well. I know they lost to Florida State. Man, they're gonna beat the shit out of a lot of teams. They're physically monsters. They look good. They look really good. Now, do they have a running back? No. They don't have a consistent running back. They don't have somebody they can line up and just hand it off to, so that sucks. But they got receivers for days. Ryan Williams looked healthy. He went out there and did his thing. You guys already know how I feel about Jeremy Bernard, hence the prop bets and him doing his thing. And then they're starting to get Isaiah Horton involved. That's number 1, 2, and 5 on tape. Anytime you look for a single digit, 1, 2, and 5, they're absolutely dominating. Shout out to them. Defensively, this isn't all the tackles. This isn't right. Shout out to ESPN for not giving us our stuff. They played well on defense. On the other side, Wisconsin, still no semblance of running game. They took out Dylan Jones halfway through the first, and they started giving carries to Darren Dupree. I don't mind. They're both young guys that they need to rely on. They didn't have a chance in this game. None. I don't believe in none of the stats, none of this stuff. They're still trying to figure some stuff out. One thing I will say, Vinny Anthony is still him. I don't give a shit about none of this. Vinny Anthony is still him. Remember that. Vinny Anthony. Utah beats Wyoming. We were on the under on this game. Hit perfectly. Got it. It was a lock. Utah ended up scoring in the second half, 14-14. Wyoming's got a good defense, man. Wyoming's going to go out there and tackle you. The problem is they have no offense whatsoever. I don't know how you don't hand the ball off to Sam Scott more. 7 carries, 13 yards. Apparently Sam Scott's not their guy. Now they're going to rock with Harris. And they've been given, this is the second game in a row they gave Kelman more carries. Terrion Kelman, the transfer from Akron, getting carried. He had a little change of pace back, a little scat back. I don't think Wyoming's got any offensive pressure to do anything. The only guy they can throw to is their tight end, who's not even here, and then Chris Durr. That's it. So Wyoming is terrible on offense. Good defense. Good defense. Eventually you're going to break, though. You're trying to stop Devin Dampier. Devin Dampier is going to do whatever he wants. I don't like Devin Dampier with 41 attempts. Don't like that at all. But they're out there making it happen. There's the leading rusher, Dampier and Parker, doing their thing. Congratulations. Giving Rodgers a little too many carries. I think they're playing it safe. Ryan Davis, Wes Welker 2.0. Ryan Davis, Wes Welker 2.0. Bad little dude, always open, doing his thing. Shout out to him. Everything else, they played well. Wyoming didn't score until, it didn't matter at that point. The score was already 31-0. Something like that. So, anywho, got that right. Another game we got right. Texas Tech covered the spread. I want you guys to understand Texas Tech is elite. They did finances in the transfer portal, but they are elite when you see them. Cameron Dickey taking over the running back room for this game. Congratulations. Him and Williams are a 1-2 punch. Both true sophomores this year. They're doing their thing. Morton's taking care of the ball, threw for 464 yards. And that's because Texas Tech wide receivers are so much better than you think they are. So much better than you think. I've been on Coy Aiken for years now. I've been telling you this is a high school legend in Texas. To be a Texas high school legend is crazy. He's a white guy. And he's him, Jacoby Williams. I've been on Jacoby Williams since he was a 3-star, and I watched his film for the first time, and I told you guys this. Terrence Carter, transferring in from Louisiana, the Raging Cajun. Amazing. Like, that's 3 guys that are amazing. Caleb Douglas, transferred in from Florida. Reggie Virgil, transferred in from Miami of Ohio. John Carlos, transferred in from Elon, I think. FCA, like, everybody here is just a transfer and an absolute star. They're an all-star team. Texas Tech is an all-star team, and they're going to beat the hell out of somebody who doesn't have the money they got and not invested in them. I like this a lot. I like what they do and how they do it. On the other side, Oregon State. Malik Murphy had a punt in this game, which is fucking crazy. Malik Murphy plays well. He does. He does the best he can with what he has, and he doesn't have much. The cupboard's pretty bare. Anthony Hankerson could not run the ball, and I don't think anyone can run the ball on Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech has too much speed in their front 7. They are vicious. They are vicious. And they got great linebackers against the run. They're not great against the pass. They're great against the run. Martinez and who's the white guy? What's his name? Jacob Rodriguez. I said Martinez. Jacob Rodriguez and Ben Roberts. These 2 linebackers are the bee's knees against the run. Not great against the pass, but my God, are they great against the run. You're not going to do anything with it. Wide receivers, they keep throwing to Trent Walker. That's one guy you can believe in all day. Shout out to David Wells for having a good game, but Trent Walker's the guy. Defensively, it was nothing. It was nothing. They couldn't keep up. Speaking of can't keep up, I told you Michigan is going to outclass this service academy. Central Michigan rushed for 40 yards on 41 carries last week. What'd they do this week? 31 carries, 82 yards. Still, you can't move the ball. You can't do anything. I don't want to hear it. Michigan's going to hit you in the mouth. And what happened? Michigan was up 35-3 at halftime. Covered this spread easily. I thought it was a joke. And I didn't make it a lock. But I talked about it at length, and I gave you analysis as to why I believed it. And I didn't make it a lock. That means you guys didn't bet it. That means Rico doesn't know. I got it right. I assessed it correctly. I broke it down 100% right. But I don't know because I didn't put it in the right column. Me. Think about that. Bryce Underwood went for over 100 yards rushing. Justice Haynes as well. They still have no receivers that I believe in, but they can run the ball. It's just all Haynes. Defensively, mean, dominant, wasn't even an issue in this game. Auburn against South Alabama. I was on the over on this, missed. The over did not hit. These teams did not score in the fourth quarter. South Alabama can play, man. They can score on anybody. They can do things. It just didn't come together. They didn't finish their drives. There's fumbles there. There's just it is a bad game for them. And then Auburn's good. Auburn's good. They're better than you think. They got weapons. Jackson Arnold's playing well. He did not throw well in this game, but he played decent. He ran well. He did fine. And then you have Jeremiah Cobb taking over the running back room. It's good. Singleton's still like the only weapon, but they got 5 guys that can really go out there and run routes. They got all the receivers they need. They just got to put it together. So I hope they figure that out. I really do. But shout out to Auburn getting an easy win over an in-state foe. Speaking of an easy win, I told you Louisiana has the worst quarterback ever. Like, there's not a worse quarterback than Daniel Bill. And I'm telling you, I'm 100% right. They brought in a dude named Lunch Winfield, because Daniel Bill is the worst quarterback in the world. If I say that to you guys, I want you guys to understand something. You're looking in the locks column here, right? Who is Clemson playing? They're playing Georgia Tech. Is Georgia Tech any good? Yes, Georgia Tech's good. We respect Georgia Tech. Got it? Not good. Is Delaware any good? We respect Delaware apparently now. Is West Virginia as good as Pittsburgh? Better. We respect the coaching staff. We respect everything they're doing, right? Don't respect. And then we get here. Like, can you name good players on Southern Miss right now? You can. You can name good players on Southern Miss. Braylon Braxton. Oh, he's in Mary. He's all conference. He's going to do this. He's going to be competitive in this game. When you get down here and we're trying to take Texas State, can you name good players at Arizona State? Yes, you can. So what are the chances we're covering this spread? Well, there's good players over there. When you sit here and you talk about this game right here, there is no earthly way Louisiana can score because they don't have a quarterback. And it's not hyperbole. I'm not exaggerating. If you don't know what hyperbole means, it means I'm not exaggerating. It is the worst quarterback I've ever seen at the collegiate level. He is now 91 yards passing on 36 attempts with a 41% completion percentage. Is he a fucking baseball player? His QBR is under 20. This guy cannot play college football. Not right now. And he's the starter. Look at this. Look at this shit, bro. 1 for 8 and 5 yards. How are you not slamming this for an insane amount of money? Missouri is playing the worst quarterback in the world, is what I tell you. And for you, it's just one. Oh, I didn't bet that one. Oh, but I parlayed that with Boston College. Can't help you, bro. Bo Pribula, I believe he's a Heisman Trophy candidate at this point. Like, the way he's been playing, he's good, man. I know he threw a pick in this game. He didn't run much, but, man, he's so good. Ahmed Hardy, probably the best running back. Probably the best running back in the SEC. Probably. Fucking 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. Dude's a problem. You give this kind of guy that offensive line, shit's going to roll downhill real fast. Told you there's only one wide receiver you can believe in. Kevin Coleman Jr. Said that before the video. Before the game. Man, I wish you guys would just listen. I go, hey, Missouri's going to cover the spread. Louisiana won't even score in this game, is what I said. Go back and watch the video. Daniel Bill's the worst quarterback I've ever seen. Nebraska's very good. I'm not worried about this score at all. I need you guys to know something. They look like a complete team. Nebraska looks like a complete team. Shout out to Raiola, playing well, all that stuff. But it's about Emmett Johnson and these receivers coming together. They look like a real team. I know it's Houston. I don't care about that. You're going to have a hard time fading Nebraska. Oh, but Rico, they only beat Cincinnati 17. Cincinnati's not a bad team either. Nebraska looks like a good team. Shout out to them. Maryland did not cover the spread against Towson, and this is another one of those examples where I looked at a team for half a day, for a couple hours. I said, oh, Maryland's got this. Apparently they don't. They let these guys backdoor. They had it covered at halftime. It was 34-0. And then they called off the dogs. So what's the problem with Maryland? Malik Washington, freshman, still trying to learn the ropes and do things, so they're not consistent on their drives. One thing I was encouraged about in this game, and I had it on the screen, so I was paying attention to it, is Octavian Smith. Octavian Smith looks faster than everybody else. Now, they miss him a lot. They miss on all these passes. But when they don't miss, he's faster than everybody else. That dude's a problem right there. That's their X factor right there. I understand they're getting the ball to Farouk. They're getting the ball to Knotts. I got all that. But it's that Octavian Smith guy that's got so much. I haven't talked to the team. But I bet if we did talk to the team, they would tell you he's the fastest player on the team. I bet. I believe that. Defensively, pretty good. Played smart, did their thing. We'll see what they're made of this week. Virginia hitting on all cylinders. Hitting on all cylinders. Shout out to them. Finding ways to run. Harrison Whaley gets 10 carries, 151 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Can we stop ignoring Harrison Whaley? Can we just stop? I understand Jamari Taylor's the starter. We got Xavier Brown back. This is your third-string running back, and he's so good. I don't care who they played against, man. I've watched Harrison Whaley rush for 1,000 yards. I watched him rush for yards for 3 years. I know how good he is. And he's third string. Come on. Come on, dude. Stop doing this to me. Stop getting me mad, bro. Don't get me mad. Animals get mad. I want to be upset. Shout out to Virginia. Baylor, go out there, do your thing. This is a cakewalk. I don't like that Sawyer Robertson threw 2 interceptions in this game, but way to get on your feet, get under, this whole thing here where you're running the rock and doing things. Remember, they don't allow anybody else to run the rock during their bigger games, but in this game, they go out and finally let Michael Turner play. This is the true freshman. I've been excited about Michael Turner. Gave him 6 carries. Caden Knight and a 4-star backing up Washington. Like, they need to give these guys, they need to get developmental reps. They need to give them more reps. Let them do their thing. They spread the ball around receivers. Don't get that twisted. They know who they are. These guys are good. Baylor's a good team. Good team for Baylor. Yep. And then their only losses to Auburn. Yeah, they're a good team. Memphis outclassed Troy. Troy could not consistently move the ball against these guys. I think the worst thing about Troy is, well, Goose Crowder, and then Kilcrease comes in. It doesn't matter. Their quarterback room is bad. And Memphis showed you this. Their quarterback room is bad. They could not stop the run. Sutton Smith did what he wanted to do to these guys. I like Sutton Smith taking over the running back room. Don't tell me he's got to share carries with Peasant. Frank Peasant's slow as shit. It's not somebody I believe in like that. Shout out to them. And then on the other side, Troy's been running the ball with Tate Meadows every single week, all day long, and then nothing. Nothing. I don't care about anything else. It's just not consistent enough for us, Mothershed out here. There's just nothing going on with Troy. And then if you look over here at Memphis, Brennan Lewis is getting continuity with his old teammate, Cortez Brahman. So Brahman and Brennan Lewis come from Nevada. They're paired up, and they're knocking it out the park. So the continuity's there. They're putting the pieces together. Defensively, they showed out. They absolutely showed out. Shout out to Memphis dominating this game. It was a no sweat. And then speaking of sweat, Buffalo Bulls, bruh. Buffalo Bulls come out here. Their bum ass played terrible. I saw turnover after turnover. I don't know why a team like Buffalo is throwing the ball 40 times a game. It's not cute. Taquan Roberson is not a 40-attempt quarterback. There's just no way he should have 40 attempts in this game. But yet he did. 40 attempts, 28 completions, still threw a pick, missing on some plays. They're trying to get Victor Snow the ball. I get it. But there's no reason for this. Him and McMillan did well. McMillan out here. Chance Morrow, excuse me. This is all fine. You got Al-Jay Henderson, a guy that can just run, and run some more. And you got a good offensive line. What are you doing? What are you doing? Defensively, giving up 28 points to Kent State, not good enough. Not good enough at all. I did not like this performance. Obviously didn't cover the spread. Found a way to find the money line. That's good. Kent State, they're not your father's Kent State. They're not your mom's Kent State. They look all right, man. Drew DeShields, freshman quarterback. has enough juice to extend plays. Didn't finish with a ton of rushing yards, but he will frustrate you and move the chains. So just know that going in, they're going to move the chains a little bit more than you think. Gavin Garcia, who was supposed to be the running back 2 years ago, got injured right in the preseason, so he didn't play last year, and now he's back. Looks like he's taking over the running back room. Good for him. That lets Cade Wolford go back to the wide receiver room where he was originally a wide receiver last year, and he's doing his thing. So the team is like coming together slowly but surely, and they're being pretty competitive. I actually like their coach. I watched him in some interviews after the game, and I've done that 2 weeks now. I like the way the relationship he has with his players. I think they're putting something together here. Kent State, they're better than Ball State. They're better than Ball State right now. Speaking of Ball State, dude, who's doing these segues? I'm doing this shit off the cuff, bro. No rehearsal. I just woke up in the morning, did some numbers, and hit record. I'm impressed with my own segues. I'm serious. I'm doing some ESPN level segues right here. Anyways, back to what I'm saying. Speaking of Ball State's bum ass, not good. Not good at all. I don't know what was happening in this game in the second half. It was crazy. And I had it on because I thought New Hampshire was going to win the game. And I wanted to go see what was happening. Ball State's supposed to have some pieces. My goodness. It doesn't matter what the fuck they have. First off, Eric Weatherly, stop fumbling. Shout out to him. He's a friend of the channel. But we're looking at Kyle Kelly over here. This is a dual threat quarterback. He can't throw the ball at all. So I don't care what wide receivers you have. They don't get used. So now we're running the rock. He rushed for over 100 yards. He did well. Kwai Ashley. Ashley is a transfer from Kennesaw. He was the leading rusher at Kennesaw State last year. He's here to run. Still don't get a lot of carries, but he had some burst to him, so he went off and did his thing. He's also the leading receiver. That's fine. It's just not good. Not good. Shout out to Joey Stemler. I hope you get the whole crew together and they start making plays. This is a bad look. Beating New Hampshire 34-29 is a bad look. And yes, New Hampshire's good. Speaking of bad look, the lock, money line lock, looking in every parlay. UConn. How do you go to overtime with Syracuse and then you can't beat Delaware? That's fucking nuts, bro. Joe Fagnano. Joe Fagnano's a good quarterback. He played well. 346 yards passing, only 10 incompletions, 2 touchdowns. He played well. Cam Edwards had good burst. He played well. Okay. Skylar Bell, reliable, always going to be open. He played well. Romello Murphy came through. He played well. Friend of the channel, by the way. And then there's all these guys over here on defense. All these guys, except for, Parham, 3 sacks, cool. Taekwon King, 2 sacks. I already told you guys about Taekwon King. When I watch him on tape, he doesn't look like a real linebacker to me. He looks rigid, stiff, and can't make plays. And that's what you'll see. You'll see teams run right past you. These guys, fucking terrible, bro. You ever had a wet piece of paper? You just tear fucking anything you can get through a wet piece of paper, bro. These guys are gross. This defense was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And Delaware, they didn't look too impressive to me. They're good enough. They're good enough. They were actually without their star receiver. The white guy from the Michigan transfer, they didn't even have him. They didn't matter. They had Duplessis. Duplessis is open. He's open again. They couldn't catch the corner. Joe Silver was faster than the UConn defenders. He was just getting a little bit of burst, the first down all the time. It was nuts. Nick Minicucci didn't impress me. He didn't look that great. He's kind of crafty, but he didn't look that great. The guy that they did it all was Silver. Silver and more Silver. Shout out to Joe Silver. Shout out to UConn's lack of defense. The over is real. Rutgers blows out Norfolk State. No big deal here. Shout out to Mike Vick. What I did notice in this game is KJ Duff for Rutgers. Never heard of him before this. This little guy right here. I know who he is. I shouldn't say I never heard of him. Never heard of him from a gambling perspective. Like I never really thought of him in that regard. And now he's already got half of last year's total, double the touchdown. He's on his way. So it was a throwaway game. I got it. LeBron Bond's brother plays on defense over here. I don't know if he's in the box score. Look for Bond real quick. No Bond. Damn. He's my boy. Doesn't matter. Point I'm trying to make is Rutgers looks good. They'll figure it out. Their offensive line is mean. Didn't learn anything. Youngstown State, man, they're not bad. Michigan State won this game. Got it. Youngstown State scored in every single quarter in this game. They were in it. They were fine. They were playing. And I know that don't look good for Michigan State, but I'll take it. There's still continuity there with Amari Kelly and Nick Marsh. So remember that. Aiden Childs is still leading this team in rushing. There's no running back I believe in on this team. No running back I believe in on Michigan State. And I don't believe in Aiden Childs to win you games. North Texas absolutely blew out Washington State. I don't know if Eric Moore still knows who's over there. I don't know what happened here, but this shit was not close. It was already, 42-0? 42-3? 42-3 at half. It's crazy. Mestermaker doing whatever the hell he wants is nuts. They threw to anyone and everyone. It didn't matter who they were throwing to. It didn't even matter. Backups in this game. Then this is crazy. This is bad brand of football. It's bad look for Washington State. By the way, Washington State. Let me not just gloss over them. Why aren't we playing Zevi Eckes more? Zevi is so much better than Jackson Potter. He is. I'm not at practice, but I know what Zevi Eckes can do. Zevi, if you guys didn't know, used to be a starting quarterback for 3 years. I've watched this guy on tape. 3 years, over 60% completion percentage every year, 3,000 yards passing, 28 touchdowns, 7 interceptions last time he got to start. 28 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. The guy you got ahead of him just threw 3 interceptions in the game. Jackson Potter. Zevi, bro. And more Zevi. SMU does not cover the spread against Missouri State. They didn't give a shit. I don't know what the problem is. They weren't trying at all. This is silly. This is the definition of what the fuck. Like, you intercept the ball 3 times. Jacob Clark throws 3 interceptions in this game. You ain't got nothing to show for it. No, just 28 points. We're just chilling. Fucking cruise control. Don't even score in the first quarter. Don't give a shit, bro. This is nuts. Absolutely nuts. By the way, RJ Maryland finally scores a touchdown. What did I say? Last week he was going to score a touchdown? Now this week he does. It's nuts, bro. 5 sacks. They dominated this game. 3 interceptions, 5 sacks, and they didn't score any points. They don't care. That sucks, man. Missouri State is not good. Don't believe the hype. Missouri State is not good. They play bad. I don't believe anything they're doing. I know Shamari Lawrence. Like, I know they're starting running back. This is an FIU transfer. Right? Yeah, this guy, FIU transfer right here, last 2 years. This guy's whole career is 3 yards in a cloud of dust, as far as I'm concerned. I don't want to hear about the 5s and the 4s. No. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And that's who your starting running back is. Nah, they're bad. And we miss. Speaking of miss, West Virginia beats Pitt in overtime. There's no excuse for this. Rich Rodriguez winning the backyard brawl. There's no excuse for this. There was no chance for them in this game, and they still found a way. It's insane. Absolutely insane. West Virginia was trying to find any way to get a spark in this game. Jalen Henderson was running and playing in the game for more snaps than he should. Scotty Fox throwing 2 picks. Nico comes through in the clutch. Like, the whole thing is just crazy. And Eli Holstein's still getting 300 yards passing. And it don't matter. Desmond Reed, I got to double check. Did he get hurt in this game? I didn't see it. He only had 6 carries in the game. No passing, no nothing. And it's just weird, man. One of those situations where you look like you don't know what you're talking about because you pick a team, and almost like I picked a fighter last night who got hit by a car. If you didn't know, one of my locks got hit by a car last night. And it's just frustrating. Got to go back and watch it. We watched the game. I had it on the screen, but I missed some of the things that went wrong, and it sucks. North Carolina beats Richmond, second home game for Bill Belichick. They come through in the clutch. I know Richmond's not good this year. I told you guys this. I felt like that this was not happening. North Carolina's going to cover that spread, whatever it was, and we did. This was a simple one. Richmond's not who they were last year. They're not. All the players transferred and left. They're left with scrap metal. And then you look over here, and I'm not impressed with Demon June. I've told you, Demon June looks slow. Demon June looks slow on tape, and he took over the running back room. That's bad news for Davion Gauss. That's bad news for a lot of these guys. It's really weird. I don't get it. None looks good. They didn't look elite in any way. North Carolina, they just did enough to win. Speaking of looking elite, Cincinnati, the score was fucking 55 at halftime. Was it 56-0 at half? 56-0. Northwestern State, you got to fade them every single time. You got to take the spread. These guys, it was 35-0 in the first quarter. What the fuck's the spread going to be, bro? What's it got to be before you guys start believing in the opposition? Brendan Sorsby throws for 5 touchdowns. Don't believe all that. They're playing nobody, so they can go out there and run. They got a harder day at practice than they do out here. This was easy. Gimme. UTSA beating Incarnate Word. Incarnate Word's not going to lay down and give it to you. And UTSA finally got on track, got all their stats they needed. Robert Henry and McCown and all these guys. Congratulations. You did your thing. What I don't like is they couldn't stop Cheatin' James. So if you guys know Cheatin' James, this is a former, used to play at St. John Bosco in high school, and then he went to Idaho State, went for like 1,000 yards, transferred from there to Fresno State. Couldn't really get on the field last year. For the most part, him and Raylan Sharp were these two little guys that transferred in, and they didn't quite get utilized right. And so now he's over here, and you see him just putting up crazy numbers. It's a little concerning if you're UTSA. You got to be able to stop the slot receivers like that. You got to be able to stop these little guys. How little is Cheatin' James? On tape, he's 5'9". Okay, he looks small. Looked even smaller than that. So there you go. It is what it is. Shout out to UTSA for finding a way to win. Toledo's not going to get scored on. Morgan State's one of the worst teams in the FCS. They don't spend any money on their football program. They're one of the lowest funded teams in America. Like, seriously, I think they're in the bottom 10 of poorest teams in America. And you can see the product they put on the field. It's not good. Tucker Gleason does what he wants, gets an early day off. They don't really have to even run it that much. They don't have to do anything. Small, short fields. Their secondary is amazing. Their defense is mean. Toledo's just chilling, bro. It was an easy win for them. What up, Liberty? Liberty, the wheels have fallen the fuck off. Not only did you get beat in this game, you didn't score until the third quarter, and Ethan Vasco looked terrible in this motherfucker. Like, terrible. You got no running back that I can even remotely believe in. Shout out to Evan Dickens. And then receivers, Dante Lee is taking over the room, but Dante Lee, friend of the channel, it's like a Division III transfer, man. This ain't real. This ain't real. This can't be happening right now. This is nuts. On the other side, Bowling Green, Drew Pine, doing enough. Not great, but doing enough. And then running back room, Chris McMillan. It's really a two-headed monster, but nothing that you can rely on betting-wise. Nothing you get too excited about. It's just my boy, Dorian Pringle, bro. Dorian Pringle does a fumble recovery. Still nearly leading the team in tackles. Two tackles for loss. Dorian Pringle. Another interception, Dorian Pringle. Everything's Dorian Pringle, bro. Dude don't belong at Bowling Green. Dorian Pringle is a fucking professional. Oh, I'm so right. Speaking of being right, bro. I think at the end, by the time this game got started, Middle Tennessee was a 10-point underdog or more. They told me sharp money came in on Nevada. A bunch of sharp money came in on Nevada, and it pushed the line like crazy. And Middle Tennessee can't stop a dual threat quarterback. That was the word. That was the scouting report. And here we have it. Chuba Party, they can't throw the ball. They throw 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. No, nothing special. They do get the running the rock with Turner. Didn't run Purdy as much as usual. Doesn't matter, bro. I don't care about none of this shit. I called this money line outright. Middle Tennessee goes out and beats Nevada. Pulls it off. It was a nail-biter of a game. We get the game-winning touchdown with, I don't remember how many seconds were left on it. It was crazy. We just had to take it for the final drive. I think there was a minute left in the game, and they still got it done. Not pretty at all, but we'll take it, and we'll move on. Shout out to me. I only need about 4 more of those. I don't know how we're gonna get them. Sucks. Mississippi State absolutely crushed Alcorn. I think you need to put some respect on Mississippi State. Don't worry about the Alcorn. Oh, another program that doesn't spend a lot of money is Alcorn. But Fluff Bothwell doing his thing. Anytime touchdown, give it to Fluff, and more Fluff. Yeah. We'll see what happens when they get in conference play. Kennesaw beating Merrimack. We've seen Merrimack play competitive with Kent State at the beginning of the year, so we knew they were going to be okay. Kennesaw, nothing special, but little by little, Omari Odom is taking over this quarterback room. This is the second week in a row. Omari Odom's getting a lot of reps, and he's looking better than Dexter Williams. That's concerning to me because I don't like teams with two quarterbacks. My favorite running back on this team is Coleman Bennett. Not really getting done in this game. And then my favorite receiver on this team is Gabriel Benyard. The Benyard brothers are my guys, and he's still playing well. So shout out to him. Other than that, easy win, easy game. Please don't request to speak. Marshall, easy game. Come out, get a big lead at halftime, went ahead and played CDRW. Carlos Del Rio Wilson, former Florida, Syracuse, and now Marshall transfer. This guy went to 4 different high schools, if I remember correctly. Shout out to everywhere he transferred to for his last couple years. He is what it is. He's a dual threat quarterback. He ended up running a little bit. This is not a good team. Marshall's not a good team. Ended up winning the game, no problem, but I'm not impressed with the way Marshall plays. I want to get Adrian Norton out of hell. Adrian Norton's so good. He doesn't belong here. It is what it is. Charlotte, oh, man, what a nail-biter. Charlotte wins the game. Thank goodness they win. We need one more win from Charlotte somewhere, bro. Just get it anywhere. I have a parlay. 2 wins from Charlotte, 2 wins from New Mexico, 2 wins from Purdue. They're already done, and this is like I got $3,000 on this thing. So I need Charlotte to win one more game. Please win one fucking game for the love of God. Put it all together. Ran decent, threw a ton of yards, 382 yards. Yes, it was Monmouth. Yes, it took a 21-point third quarter for Charlotte to really put their stamp on this game. Jay Mason doing his thing. Shout out to him. I want to see something real quick. Because he is a transfer. Yeah, Samford. I knew it was an FCS school. I just got to remember where. So, not a bad kid. Not a bad showing. They just need to find the right players, put them all in the starting lineup. Shea Taylor, that's the Ohio transfer linebacker, played well in this game, led the team in tackles. Reed Wilford, he's a holdover from the previous staff. Just nice to see everybody coming together, making their plays. Man, it was Monmouth, bro. You gotta beat Monmouth by more than that. Speaking of, you gotta beat people by more than that. USC would have covered this spread, but the most ridiculous freak accident play, if you can't find it, go find it on Twitter. Purdue ends up scoring a touchdown. It was it Ryan Brown who picks up this incredible, it was like a double pass back to the quarterback, and then Ryan Brown picks it up and runs. It was silly. Yeah, it was his 26-yard game. That's why he has 4 yards rushing, because he was sacked all day long. Silliest shit I ever seen. Shout out to Purdue. They found a way to win, but they can't throw the ball. 3 interceptions, and I believe it's caused by a really good pass rush. Rushing this guy to make decisions, and just a really good defense all the way around. USC is confusing. They've got a great defensive coordinator. They're figuring it out. I think USC is very underrated. Very, very underrated. And shout out to Purdue. They win in the trenches a little bit. A little bit. They do. They're competitive. Your boy Lane did well. It's going to be all the same guys every single week. Lane, Lemon, Lake. All the L's. The triple L's. Remember that. USC, Lane, Lake, Lemon. Lemon, Lake, Lane. Those are your 3 guys. They're going to be open. Defensively, you see all the sacks. 5 sacks. Just monsters, bro. And you saw the big guy touchdown, Jamal Jarrett, number 0. He's 360 pounds or so. He does like a pick 6. And he runs one back for a touchdown as well. Bishop Fitzgerald is him. This guy has multiple interceptions now in this year. Not just 2 in this game, but he's got others. This is a future star. Bishop Fitzgerald. And when I say star, I'm talking about, I think he's NFL caliber. I really do. I like the way he's a ball hawk to me. So last year, 8 passes deflected, gets on my radar. I like guys who get you the ball when it's in the air. Bishop Fitzgerald is a future star, I think. Maybe I'm just shooting my shot. Maybe I'm wrong. I doubt it. Speaking of being wrong, I was wrong about Virginia Tech. They didn't cover this spread at all. They were fucking gross. And the fact that they even got 26 points is crazy, because they put 19 up in the 4th. This was over. This game was over, and it was never competitive. Kyron Drones, 3 touchdowns. I hear you, man. You're not doing anything before that. I talked about this game on TikTok Live with just some like random ass people, And they asked me, Rico, why isn't Virginia Tech a bigger favorite? And I said, well, look at your team. And your quarterback was once the backup at Baylor and couldn't start. Your quarterback's okay. But your running back, you went out and got Terrion Stewart. He's from the MAC. He's a Group 5 running back. And before that, you had Baishal Tutton. Where's he from? The FCS. And when you start looking at the players you're signing and the players you're bringing in, and you just lost 3 NFL caliber receivers, Jalen Lane, Ollie Jennings, Felton. Like, it just doesn't feel like you have the right pieces at all. And sure enough, what can't you do? You can't stop these guys. Dude, they could do whatever they wanted. Marquis James scores a touchdown. Shout out to High School Film Reviews, one of my hidden gems. Colton Joseph can't be stopped. That's Johnny Manziel. And then defensively, they got linebackers for days. They got All-American linebackers, all this stuff. They're doing what they wanted. They were a terror. Absolutely dominated this game. Virginia Tech needs, you got to fire Brent Pry, bro. I don't call for the firing of people all that often. I don't. But that's an embarrassing game. You're going to lose recruits. And then we have this one. I took Jacksonville State against Georgia Southern. Normally would never take them, but the way they've been performing lately, I took them. I miss. Talent chart tells me take Georgia Southern. Reality is O.J. Arnold, who I say can't take over a game. I love O.J. Arnold, but he can't take over a game. Dude, he took over the game. 16 carries, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. What the fuck, bro? Way to show up. The 1 week I pick against you. Way to stick it to me. Stick it to the man. Cam Cook still doing his thing. 21 carries, 120 yards. They're just going to feed him the rock all day. Gavin Wimsatt still can't throw. Don't believe in him no matter what. But this comes down to Jacksonville State being in this game, having the lead, and then getting shut out in the fourth quarter, and Georgia Southern comes back to win the game. We had the lead. It was 34-31 going into the fourth, and we blow it. So, yeah. Georgia State finds a way to beat Murray State. This should tell you how bad Georgia State is. This should 100% tell you how bad Georgia State is. Murray State is now 0-3 in the FCS. Murray State, the Racers, they are one of the worst teams all the time. And you literally are in a fucking war with these dudes. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. I don't understand it. Not a good team, Georgia State. Shout out to my boy Ted Hurst, friend of the channel. 10 receptions, 172 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Did his thing. But my God, is Georgia State mid as fuck. TJ Finley trying to find his footing. Just got back. You guys don't know. Georgia State needed a new quarterback, so they signed TJ Finley midweek after week 1. So there he was starting this game. He threw 2 picks in the game, but he's here. They need all the help they can get. Speaking of needing all the help they can get, App State, they were my pick. They were my underdog. I picked the money line. Remember, I picked the money line Vanderbilt, underdog. I picked money line, MTSU, underdog. But this one I picked, and Rico doesn't know. This one I picked, and we all lose. Why? Because Rico put it in his locks column. Well, fuck, man. Let's start. A.J. Swan, 3 interceptions. I don't know how many fumbles there were in this game, but before this game, did A.J. Swan have any interceptions? Nope. Did he play lights out? Yep. Not this game. What'd they do? They still picked off Braylon Braxton. They held their leading rusher to 40 yards or less than 40 yards. They did everything I expected of them. Jaden Barnes went ham. Even Stroman had some big catches. Everything did well. I just can't even begin to tell you what it feels like when Southern Miss is getting 5 sacks on these dudes. And I'm watching them dominate App State. It sucks. And more importantly, this really tells me Charlotte's bad. That's what I learned as I was watching this. It's like, oh man, there's levels to this. Charlotte's even worse than this. But this hurts. Get a bad read. Believe in A.J. Swan. Everything I said about A.J. Swan in the preseason, you should go back and watch that video. Go back and watch the Quarterbacks podcast and see what I say about A.J. Swan. And now he proved me right. Rice beats Prairie View A&M. Prairie View A&M's not good. Rice can't throw the ball. All they do is run, and that's all they're ever going to do. And they did it, so we're here. Congratulations, Rice. They're a running team. Kentucky beating EMU. I got a bunch of messages. Rico, what do you think about Seth McGowan now? Bro, the same thing I thought before the fucking game. Eastern Michigan can't stop the run, no matter what. They can't stop the run. So Seth McGowan goes for 100 yards. The team rushes for 253 yards, 5.6 yards a carry, 4 touchdowns. Like, that's going to happen. These guys just lost to Long Island. Kentucky fans, calm down. Don't tell me shit. You're not great. You're not good. These guys just lost to Long Island. Everything's still the same. McMillan's the only guy they're running the ball with. Lockett's the only guy they're throwing to. Got all that. Even against EMU, there's no receiver you can believe in at Kentucky. None. And it's really because you can't believe in their quarterback play. It's a whole nother conversation. But Kentucky finds a way to win, and I don't think they covered the spread. Maybe they did. Speaking of covering the spread, Iowa covered the spread. Rico, can Iowa really score 36 points? Yes, they can. Because fucking UMass blows a fat one. UMass is terrible. No offensive line. Nothing to talk about. Can't do it. And my boy Sam Phillips finally gets some passes, and he goes out and does some work. Still don't like Gronowski. Still don't think he's a good quarterback for this team. This team is not good. Iowa's not good. But they're better than UMass, obviously. Took a stab into Mexico State to cover the spread. Still took La Tech to win the game. La Tech showed me, nah, don't believe in them motherfuckers. La Tech put up 22 in the fourth quarter. La Tech picked off Logan 5 twice. They're doing well. La Tech's doing well. I still don't know who these guys are, bro. I still don't know what this is. The quarterback room is such a clusterfuck for me. Blake Baker's supposed to be the quarterback, and they bring in this cuck dude. Let's stop playing him. Baker's running the ball. Mario Wiggins. Like, it's just different dudes every week. I have no idea what La Tech's doing, and it's hard from a gambling perspective on the prop side. On the other side, New Mexico State, we do know what they're doing. They're going to throw with Logan Fife. They're going to try to run with Kadarius Callaway, and they're throwing that shit to P.J. Johnson like crazy. P.J. Johnson's their main target, their one target. He's got enough burst and wiggle to get out of his breaks and get open. So it is what it is. La Tech wins a game. Not surprising. ECU, I told you. Coastal Carolina is on a speed run to be the worst team in the history of college football. Like, they're on their way. Coastal Carolina has a terrible head coach, and he's running that team into the ground. It doesn't matter who they got, what they got. Look who they started. They started Tad Hudson, at quarterback. Just because, hey, you might as well start a highly praised recruit who's been fourth string all offseason. Let's just start him and see what happens. I'll tell you what's going to happen. You get your ass whooped and shut out 38-0 on the road. That's fucking dumb. Or was it at home? I don't even know. It's bad. It was at home. Simkins is the only guy on this team with a little bit of burst, a little bit of wiggle. I don't rock with nobody else. Don't ask me. Don't at me. And ECU can score on anyone. ECU's got Anthony Smith, Yannick Smith. These are good receivers. Very good receivers. ECU can score points. Coastal Carolina cannot. That was one of the easiest locks as well. It was a lock. Duke let me down. I told you Duke was going to be competitive in this game. They were. Kind of, sort of. They were trailing the whole game. They only score for you. They ended up putting up to 11 in the fourth to make it look competitive. But Darren Mensah throwing 51 times, there's just no reason for this. 51 times? I know you're paying him a lot of money, but he don't need to be throwing 51 times. You don't have the receivers for 51 pass attempts. You don't have the receiving core for that. You're throwing to Anderson Castle, a white dude who got ran out of App State in the running back room. Like, this is not real. Why don't we have run plays? I'm Duke. I have a dominant offensive line. Why don't I have run plays? Why am I always throwing these little screens for 4 yards and 5 yards? Like, what is this? Why are they not just straight up run plays? I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what that's about. Tulane. I think it's time we start talking about Tulane from a different perspective. Number one, Jake Retzlaff gave them the X factor of all X factors. Jake Retzlaff is a dual threat quarterback. BYU didn't use him that way. Tulane is using him that way. This is a difference maker for me. 17 carries. 17 deliberate carries for over 100 yards and 4 touchdowns for your boy Retzlaff. He is a one-man show right now. And I got no problem with it. I think he's great. I think he's playing great. And we got to really start believing in what Tulane's doing offensively and defensively. Tulane looks fucking great. Dominant. Don't forget that performance of Tulane against Northwestern in the opening week. That tells me they won in the trenches against a Power 4 team. I just watched Northwestern be competitive with Oregon all 4 quarters in the trenches. They weren't competitive with Tulane. It didn't feel like they even had a chance against Tulane. Against Oregon, they were moving the ball and they were stopping it and they were doing everything was fine in those front sets. It was the skill athletes where they couldn't keep up. But against Tulane, no, they didn't even measure up with them. So I think Tulane's got something going. I really do. Shout out to Tulane. TCU beating up Abilene Christian. Didn't cover the spread. They start letting Abilene Christian score after halftime. It was the silliest thing ever. Stone Earl doesn't get stuffed. He fucking puts up almost 300 yards passing and only 7 incompletions, and they had 2 touchdowns. Like, man, Abilene Christian, they got 2 losses. They're gonna beat a lot of FCS teams. They're gonna beat a lot of FCS teams. On the other side, these guys were in cruise control. Josh Hoover still threw for 4 touchdowns. They're chilling. They don't care. Cavante Barnes just chilling. These guys are real. Jordan Dwyer's always open. Please go bet on Jordan Dwyer being open. He's going to be open. They're going to throw him the ball like crazy. Ed Small has 2 touchdowns in this game. Ed Small, high school film review alumni, Rico Knows finest. One of my hidden gems, former 3-star wide receiver, white dude. Yup. Shout out to Ed Small. I didn't even know that he got in the game. I had it on the screen, but I didn't see him. That's so cool, man. Shout out to Ed Small, friend of the channel for sure. Go watch his high school film review. I said he was phenomenal. But I also told him he should go to North Texas and not TCU. So here we go. Yeah, linebackers, Namdi's real. I think he's a fucking professional. Caleb Earl-Lamzor, those are the 2 linebackers. They're amazing. TCU's got a great defense. You guys know this from when they played North Carolina. Don't get it twisted. Don't let the score confuse you like TCU's not great. They're fucking great. I think Abilene Christian's a pretty good FCS team. Navy finally pulls away and wins this game against Tulsa. Told you I didn't believe in Tulsa in this game because it's their first time facing Navy as a coaching staff. There's no way you're going to be able to stop this offense and figure it out. Blake Horvath, yes, he threw 2 interceptions. He also rushed for 159 yards. And they have so much burst and so many players that can just do whatever they want. They're not even throwing the ball that well. They're just out there doing it. What they're really good at, though, Navy, stopping the run. They're stout against the run. Dominic Richardson, only 5 yards a carry, less than 5 yards a carry on 13 attempts. They stopped him. This is not good enough for them to where that they wanted to start throwing the ball more. Like, do that. Throw the ball. You're going to be behind. You're not going to be real. These guys are mean, bro. Shout out to Navy. Good coach team, and they're going to be good. I like Navy against Notre Dame. FAU. At one point, FAU was in this game. And at one point, FAU was winning this game. At halftime, it was 21-17. And then, my fucking goodness, FIU comes out at halftime and puts up 21 points. Caden Veldkamp is feast or famine. Touchdowns, yards, but then he's going to throw 3 picks. And that's going to happen when you throw 50 times a game. Still no semblance of running game. I do not care about Jamari Sands running like this. They don't have a running game where they can just go run it and move the chains and win the game. They don't have it. Trust Easton Messer all day. Trust them. Don't worry about Platt or Henry. It's fine. It's Messer and Terrell. Messer and Xavier Terrell are the guys you should be believing on this wide receiver room and this team. The defense is not good. FAU's defense is not good. I had them winning this game, being competitive in this game, all that stuff. Didn't happen. FIU. Something to be said about the continuity of their team, man. Owens has been here a couple years now. Jenkins has been here starting. This is his 3rd year starting. They're putting it together, but I don't understand how they won this game. Like, I just don't. Like, it didn't feel that way. And I watched it, and I just thought, well, UAB sucks. UAB's defense is terrible. He did not cover a 10-point spread. They made Ben Finley look professional. I had an MVP right to me and go, Rico, I think Ben Finley's going to be an NFL player. Man, you're crazy. You know who's going to be an NFL player? Fucking Kitna, if he can stay out of the elementary schools. Jalen Kitna over here plays well. 341 yards passing, 2 touchdowns and a pick. That's fine. Javon Jackson is a good running back. These yards don't look good. You're playing Akron, bro. No way Akron should be this effective against you. Akron was able to move the ball, score when they needed to. I mean, UAB doesn't score again in the second half. I'm glad the over hit. I'm glad the alt over hit. But my goodness, I even had a alternate spread of -2.5 alt over, and that hit. Shout out to UAB. But man, this is bad. They have a bunch of receivers. You want to talk about one of the worst defenses you'll ever see? It's UAB. They look like they don't practice. They look like they don't practice any reps whatsoever. I think they just stay in a base defense and just go play ball. They look like if you had a flag football league and nobody went to practice and just showed up, was like, all right, yo, what are we playing? Hey, let's just play some zone. Let's play some zone. All right, man, you want to play zone? Yeah, what do you want to play? Hey, yo, I'm going to run cover 2, man. I'm going to run cover 2. Yeah, I got this third. You got that third. Wait, that's not cover 2. Yeah, I know. I got Craig. Let's just run cover 0. Like they just start, it's an ignorant person just yelling out a bunch of random shit that doesn't mean anything. That's what it looks like at UAB. That's what it looks like at UAB. They're playing football. Some guys are running a particular scheme versus another guy and another guy. It's fucking chaos. It's embarrassing to watch. It's crazy. Dudes are just wide open all over the fucking field. And you're like, what happened? And the DBs will be talking to you. I'm in zone. You're a man? Oh, this cover 2 match. I was going with him up the field. And it's like, man, just shut the fuck up, bro. It's crazy. Speaking of crazy, I was crazy for believing in any team that has Josh Johnson at quarterback. Josh Johnson is so bad. That guy, I don't believe in Josh Johnson. And I don't think Air Force does either. I really don't. They got rocked. They got punched in the mouth. And it's nuts, man. Bronco Mendenhall gets the most out of his team. They go out there. I said their offensive line sucks. They go out there and get 5 rushing touchdowns. Hey, Rico, we heard you think we suck. They must have played my video in the locker room. But this Josh Johnson dude, fuck him. Now, only 3 sacks. I predicted 6. Only 3 sacks. Man, Josh Johnson's so bad. The only person worse than Josh Johnson yesterday was me. Shout out to Utah State. Fresno State, easy win for them. Don't be fooled. DJ Warner went out there and laced it everywhere. That's cool. I think they were just working on their passing to build his confidence against a terrible team. Congratulations. He's not good. He's not good. And he threw most of his passes to Rayshawn Luke, who's another running back. I don't like it. Cal beating Minnesota. This is weird, bro. Look, Cal's 3-0. JKS, this dude over here, Sagaputelli, is really good. I'm watching this one in bed last night, and I'm just disappointed the whole time because I did take Minnesota. Now, did I know Minnesota was out there starting running back? I did, but I actually thought they were going to be running a different kid. I actually thought they were going to be running, was it Cam Davis? I'll know when I see his picture. No, it's not Cam Davis. Who's the kid I thought they were going to be running last night? And this is what happens. It's like, it felt like week 1 again. Grant Washington. So Grant Washington was supposed to be the starting running back. I believed in Grant Washington. The freshman went for 100 yards last week, 126 yards. Didn't even play. And that's the way it works. Like with some of these teams, man, you don't even know who the fuck's going to be on the field. So you don't play. You don't give A.J. Turner his carries. This is the transfer from Marshall. They don't like A.J. Turner. They don't like speed backs. They don't like these guys. They're going to just go pick somebody big, slow, and lumbering. And that shit don't work against these linebackers at Cal. Cal's linebackers are for real. That linebacker room at Cal is fucking beast. It's crazy. Let me talent and win totals. Let me find Cal. They got to be around here. Cal. Look at the linebacker room. Cal's linebacker room is a 9. I haven't updated Cal's rankings, though. I did. I moved their quarterback up to an 8. But they're a 9. That's an elite. Look at all the rankings down here. Nobody's got a 9 in the linebacker room down here. Not in these rankings. You'll see Virginia Tech up here. I like their linebackers too. But this is a 9. That is what dominated the shit out of this game. These guys couldn't. Look at this. 3.5 yards a carry. And now you become one-dimensional. Now you got to beat me with Drake Lindsay? Nah. Not happening. Not happening. And on the other side, this kid, he's special, bro. He's special. I called it after week 1. We got to really respect Cal. We have to. It's something else. I don't know what to do with that. Shout out to Cal. And I know this has to be a disappointing loss for the Big Ten. Losing to Cal in your Minnesota, this has to be a disappointing loss. Big time. Yeah. Cal's out here saving Wilcox's job, bro. It's a miss. Stanford, Boston College. You want to talk about a fucking miss. Freak accident, man. Freak game. I don't know what the fuck I was watching. I don't understand what I was watching. Ben Gulbranson is one of the worst quarterbacks in the world. Ben Gulbranson, don't believe the 186 yards passing. 69 of that was, he's throwing for 3 yards and a guy's taking his 69 yards because the defense is just silly. Like you go to bat down a pass when you know you got no one behind you. So that guy's about to just break for 70 yards running. It's just silly shit. Fumbles and interceptions and penalties. And it was just terrible. I'm just watching it like this can't be happening. It's late at night. It's just a nightmare. Couldn't stop Michael Ford in the second half. It's fucking crazy, man. Stanford is so bad. And Boston College is worse? I don't believe that. But it happened. It happened in 4K. It happened right in front of my fucking face. It was weird. Shout out to Reed Harris. They didn't even throw the ball to Lewis Bond as much as they should have. My boy Jaden Skeet doesn't get a catch. He's blocking. He's out there. He's not getting any receptions. This is a guy who scored touchdowns the last 2 games. They didn't throw him the ball. Not once. That's fucking embarrassing. I don't understand it. Arizona State covered the spread against Texas State. Texas State did cover the alternate spread, which is fine, but it's not where it needs to be. Arizona State's hard to run the ball against, and then once they're hard to run, then you're using a bunch of little white dudes. Bo Sparks is always open, man. Bo Sparks is going to be open. He's a guy you got to believe in. Go get your props in. Bo Sparks will get his yards. If he did this to this secondary that returns all its starters from last year, he can do this against anyone. Remember, this is a guy who had 4 touchdowns week 1, then 2 touchdowns the next week. Bo Sparks is always open. Trust again. The problem with Texas State is you got to get the ball to Chris Don. He's your speedster. He's another little guy with him. But Bo Sparks is nice. Okay? Defensively, they don't match up well. Arizona State can just run around until they get the ball to fucking Jordan Tyson. I just don't like it. I don't like this style of play that Arizona State has. Sam Levitt's running around with chicken with his head cut off, and then he completes a pass downfield. That's fine. Raleek Brown did have 144 yards rushing in this game. Raleek Brown is nice with it. Now, I tell you, he's like Reggie Bush to me. He's just going to make people miss, hurdle people, do all kinds of flashy things, but he's not a bell cow running back. And this offense needs a bell cow running back. They don't have one on the roster. Kanye Udo, they went and got him in the transfer portal. I always liked Kanye Udo. I didn't think he was a power 4 running back. He's not the fastest guy at Army. He's just a guy who could move chains, and that's fine. And I think that's what he is. He's kind of a mid-chain mover. I think he would have been great in a group of 5. But you go get your paycheck. You go all the way to Arizona State, and then they realize, well, that's not a guy we can depend upon. So here we are. And it's the running back room is going to be a problem. Jordan Tyson's always open downfield. They hit Mateer. Congratulations. And Raleek Brown's a skill player. Got it. Defensively, they came through. 5 sacks in this game, overwhelming them. Whatever. Last game of the night, Sagapotelli, another JKS guy. No, it's different, though. Portland State's the worst team in America, worst FCS team you'll ever see, and Hawaii calls off the Dogs, playing a backup quarterback. Shout out to Luke Weaver. Not really doing much, running the ball with Luke Weaver more than you can ever imagine, not throwing to all their star receivers. Like, it's just, they took the week off, and they still won the game. But they obviously, I don't know what the spread was, but they did it. So that's all the teams. I hope you learned about them. I'll be doing the early chart. We'll be going to week 4. And I'll be working on the early chart today. I do got to check some things before I start on it, but the video should be out today. We have one game on Thursday. We have 2 games on Friday, and then everything else is on Saturday. There will be teams with bye weeks, so we're going to have less games this week, which would be kind of cool. But for the most part, I got to talk about every single game. I got to wait for the spreads to be posted, so everybody please be patient. I will get to you probably later today or tomorrow. Your friends don't know, But Rico knows. Remember one last thing, guys. If you're still watching this video, this chart does matter to me. This is my livelihood. This is how I provide for my children. I'm trying my best. What you have to do is understand that blind tailing anything is not good enough. Like it's not. I'll be accountable to this chart, but you need to be accountable to your actions. Seriously. So do better. We're all going to do better, whatever it is. But just don't ever live and die by this column over here. I do too much research. I put in too much effort in this entire chart for you to live and die over here. I literally sit here for days on end coming up with these entries to put on this chart. And if you're going to ignore this and only pay attention to this, then you're ignoring 90% of the work I'm doing. You don't even watch the results videos. And that's where we're at right now. Okay? Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Peace, y'all.